Hey, it's Clay Trader, and this will be a video chart on AAGC, All American Gold Corporation. Before I get started, I would like to note to please check my IRP disclaimer. With that being said, as you can see looking down here, the chart has been pretty quiet, and then these last 3 days, the chart has really come to life in terms of volume and liquidity. So with that being said, it's one of these where it's been doing, over $500,000 worth of volume. So you really don't have to worry about, am I going to be able to sell like you would have to on some of these penny charts that have, $15,000, $20,000 worth of daily volume. Not the case here. So that's always a pro, in and of itself alone. So let's break down the chart here, kind of look at what's been going on, and then what we want to see going forward. The first thing to start, and I don't mean to point out the obvious, but today's action was pretty rough, but it could have been a lot worse. What I like to see is that the price was able to fight back and show that it didn't want to just roll over and give up. At one point, the price was down here at a low of 71.5 cents. But by the time the closing bell came around, the bulls were able to push it all the way back up to 79 cents. So why is this significant? Well, sometimes you'll see charts where a pullback, it begins to pull back and things start to get out of hand, but then the price just never recovers. The bulls pretty much roll over. You see the price close basically near the low of the day, and then the next day things just continue to get worse. At least with this one, a lower wick was able to be formed, and the price was able to push back up here and close it, a lot further above where it had been at one point during the day. So we do know that the price has, that the chart has some strength in it based, on this ability to fight back, like we saw here during the kind of morning and early afternoon time frame. In terms of support levels and what we want to see continue to hold going forward, first one to keep an eye on is going to be just simply the previous low that we saw during this pullback here, which was at 76 cents. As you can see, the price did drop below it intraday, but because we're looking at the daily chart, we care about where the closes are. So the price was able to close above this and hold as support, which is exactly what we want to see. So let me get this changed to green for support. And another area of support that we're going to want to make sure holds on any sort of pullback is going to be the previous resistance level. Over here you can see that at 75 cents there's a bunch of them. So you're probably asking yourself, why did I do one that was so close to the other one? Well, I wanted to kind of make a point of this area right here being very important for the chart, because we do have quite a bit of history. We have all these previous highs here, then we have this low. So essentially we can just call it a support zone between the 75 and 76 cent area that we ideally want to see the price continue to close above. If it doesn't, we still have, obviously the low down here, which is where the bull stepped in at 71.5 cents. But if you were to ask me where the ideal area be that we want to see the price continue to close above, it'd definitely be the 75, 76 cent area right here. Now in terms of resistance levels, really, we have one right there, which is at a previous high of 89, and then we have our blue sky breakout, which is just simply the high from a couple days ago, which was at 94 cents. So 89 and 94 are going to be the two areas of resistance. This one I'll make a little thicker because this represents the big area before the price would break out into the blue skies. And this one I'm going to leave skinny because yes, it is a resistance level, but at the same time, with enough volume strength, I don't see this putting up too much of a fight. And then the other thing I wanted to point out was our moving averages here. You can see both still have an upward slope to them. As long as this is the case, then we're fine. The other moving averages we don't have because, like I said, the chart is still pretty new. But overall, the chart's hanging in there. It is in an uptrend. And as long as our support levels can continue to hold, then this trend will hopefully continue. And just looking at it right now, you can see we do have a case where we had a pullback, and then those that were able to accumulate got a nice move here. So we'll see if that is the case. Now we've had the pullback, probably some panic selling, but our support levels were able to hold. So hopefully we'll be able to get some follow through as the week is young, and we still have 4 days to go before to let this chart kind of play out and see what kind of consolidation or maybe upwards move we will get. So if there are any other questions on the chart, please let me know. If not, once more, this was AAGC. Thanks for listening.